Kidnapping fail. By Rude, but at least I'm Ginger. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. Right, well, I was running on Dagobah Beach, Izuku started. Yeah. This guy came up with a dog leash and a collar and asked me to help find his dog. You said that. And then we got to his car and he knocked me out and threw me in the back of it. See, why didn't you lead with that when you walked in this morning? Or, Izuku gets kidnapped by the worst kidnapper possible and forgets to inform his sensei. Since Izuku had cleaned up Dagobah Beach, it had become his favorite running spot, so much so that he had permission to go each morning to the beach for his daily run before class started. It had become a tradition that Izuku had grown to adore, even if it meant waking up even earlier than the earliest risers in class. The wind from the ocean was ever present, and would cool Izuku down when his run got in the more intense stages. About 10 minutes in, the birds would begin to sing, and paired with the soft sounds from the water, it made a calming soundtrack that Izuku had come to adore. All of those small wonders that made the beach a relaxing spot for Izuku were present that day, lulling Izuku into the familiarity of the routine. As the boy slowed to a stop and started his post-run stretches, he let out a soft breath at the feeling of safety that was provided here. After all, this was his beach in a sense, and he adored it, consistently picking up so that it never got to the place it did before his training. Looking up, Izuku raised his eyebrows at the sight of a man with a frantic look on his face, racing towards the hero student. Can you help me? I lost my dog. She slipped out of her collar and I can't find her, he explained, holding up the leash and sparkling collar as proof. Immediate concern filled the boy for the poor dog that was now all alone and separated from her owner. Yeah, of course. Let me check around the area, Izuku said, already standing up and letting One for All start to flood his system. Thank you so much. Let me show you where my car is and we can meet up in half an hour to regroup. With that, the man started towards the parking lot, expecting Izuku to follow. Not seeing any reason not to trust the man, Izuku walked behind him to the car, which, in fact, turned out to be an SUV with its trunk popped. Cool, I'll go take that way and you can look that way. A prick occurred on Izuku's neck that had him stumbling before the world suddenly went dark. Aizawa Shota was a teacher and cared about his students as much as was necessary to get them to graduation. Unfortunately, his homeroom class this time around seemed to need more care and attention than others. That was why, when he entered class and found only 19 students were there with the most infamous trouble magnet missing, Aizawa, understandably, got incredibly concerned. Where is Midoriya? No one answered, but everyone in class looked nervous and concerned. Finally, Ida cleared his throat hesitantly. Midoriya-kun went out for his morning run and didn't come back. We thought he might have already been here or meeting with you. Aizawa's heart rate jumped at the class representative's words, and he turned on his heel to walk back out the door when it flew open to reveal no one other than Midoriya Izuku, looking disheveled and panting, but otherwise fine. Problem child, you're late. Oh, yeah, sorry, Aizawa-sensei. I was running and then someone came up to me asking to help find his dog, but... I don't need the ramble, Midoriya-kun. Just take your seat, Aizawa said. Izuku was never late, but the man could definitely see the young boy taking time to help reunite a dog and its owner, so that was unsurprising. Hesitantly, the green boy nodded and went to take his seat in front of Shinso and behind Bakugo, mumbling on his way and earning a confused glance from both boys, who seemed to write whatever they heard off as a misunderstanding. From there, Aizawa continued his class, pointedly ignoring the feeling he had of a parent whose child was missing. For 3 classes, the day went as normal, and by the time lunch was about to roll around, Aizawa had all but forgotten Izuku having been late to class. Just before Aizawa was about to dismiss his students, the door was thrown open and a harried All Might in his skinny form scanned the faces of the classroom and paused on Midoriya. His eyes then furrowed as he looked down at his phone. To the kid, back at his phone, and back to Midoriya.
You have young Midoriya, you say?
Aizawa looked sharply over to the boy, who seemed to begin to fidget restlessly, and found a sudden interest in his desk.
Right, of course. I'll be right there to retrieve him. Please, don't hurt him.
And with that, Toshinori lowered his phone and blinked rapidly in the direction of Izuku.
Young Midoriya, why did I just get a ransom call from someone claiming to have kidnapped you?
A scarred hand came to scratch the back of his neck.
Well, probably because he did kidnap me, I mean.
Everyone in the class froze before Shinso and Bakugo groaned in a long, suffering tone that only comes with profound exposure to Midoriya Izuku.
He was being serious when he said that. I thought it was sarcasm. Explain now,
Aizawa demanded, his eyes flashing red with his quirk.
Right, well, I was running on Dagobah Beach, Izuku started. Yeah.
Then this guy came up with a dog leash and collar and asked me to help him find his dog.
You said that.
And then we got to his car and he knocked me out and threw me in the back of it.
See, why didn't you lead with that when you walked in this morning?
Aizawa asked with a groan, feeling fatigue starting to creep up on him from having to deal with Izuku. The boy paused and shrugged.
I guess I thought I should start from the beginning, but then you cut me off before I could. Aizawa-sensei, I'm not saying this is your fault, I swear. Okay, moving on. Young Midoriya, if he kidnapped you, how are you here?
Yagi asked, bringing the conversation back to the topic and away from the rabbit hole it was about to go down. Immediately, green eyes brightened and Izuku grinned.
Oh, well, that's easy, All Might. He used a zip tie to bind my hands in the front, and he didn't use a high enough dose of the drug he knocked me out with, so when I woke up in the back of an SUV, I just broke the zip tie on my knee, waited until we stopped, opened the smaller door to the trunk, not the bigger one. He had the music on loud, so I just shut the trunk and then walked to school. Then I realized I wasn't in uniform, so I had to go all the way back to the dorms, and then changed before coming all the way to class.
Everyone blinked, before Kaminari groaned.
Are you telling me Midori managed to go out, take his run, get kidnapped, escape being kidnapped, change clothes, and still make it to class almost on time? See, man, this is why Aizawa gets disappointed in me. You set the bar so high. No, stop. We aren't doing this. All Might, get Tsuguchi-san and go arrest the novice kidnapper. Izuku, we will talk later. Kaminari-kun, do not get kidnapped, and continue to make it to class on time and I'll be proud. Go to lunch. I can't do this. Midoriya, we will talk after school when I've had a nap.
No one moved an inch.
Now!
Within seconds, the room was empty. It didn't take long for news to spread throughout the teachers and staff of Izuku's newest escapade, which made Aizawa want to jump off a cliff, and Nezu laugh maniacally at the teacher's misfortune. This is great. It's maybe a short one. Sorry, it's only like 10 minutes this week. But I just love this fic. It's great. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm recording this like a little bit before I go to university. And I don't know how my upload schedule is going to look. Maybe you already do. I don't. I'm worried. Anyway, I'm trying, like, for this video, I'm trying a new, like, method of editing, because mine takes forever. Does anyone know how to edit audio quickly? Because I don't know if this is extremely, like, not what you're supposed to do, but I just listened through the entire thing, and then when it's like, oh, I fucked up, I just edit that. So editing takes longer than recording, and editing isn't fun, but I don't know if there's a better way to do this. I've, like, looked a little online, but I don't know how to look, how to edit audio without it taking twice as long as left when you recorded it. I don't know, if anyone has any tips, that would be great, because I want to keep uploading stuff when I'm in university, dying from engineering for first year. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna die, but like, hopefully I come back to life. Yeah. But anyway, have a good day. I'll see you next time.